Thanks. Thank you. We can talk about the value of things we cannot comprehend because we all value things we cannot comprehend. Certain technologies, for instance. I'd like to tell you a story. It's a story about my grandmother. My grandmother wanted a very simple piece of technology. She wanted a record player. It was the 1950s and high fidelity was the latest and greatest, and she wanted a Magnavox stereo console record player. And she knew my grandfather would fight her on such an expensive purchase. And she was right. And she wasn't the type to get into a fight, but she was the type who could win. So when she told him she wanted this, as he ranted and raved about how much it would cost, plus the additional cost of buying records, she just quietly led him to the hallway closet, pushed aside all the winter coats, and pointed to a box on the floor. It was an entire collection of classical records that she had secretly acquired 1 week at a time for months and months as part of an incentive program at the grocery store. And from that point forward, there was always music in the O'Reilly household. My Uncle Al played bass. Upright, washtub, didn't matter, he wanted to play bass. My Uncle Denny belonged to the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America. And my Uncle John Paul played piano at a honky-tonk bar every Saturday night, right up until the day he died. And then in the next generation, my cousins, just a few of them, Mike plays fiddle in a Celtic band. Mary sang her way through college on a tip jar. Desmond built his own recording studio, and Jack crafts guitars by hand, just for the love of it. And that love is in my immediate family, too. It was in 1972 at Castaways Bar in Newport News, Virginia, that my folk music-loving father first saw this woman singing on stage. Today, they have 4 children, a soprano, an alto, a tenor, and a bass. And I really cannot describe to you how wonderful it is to sing Christmas carols with my family, so I'm just gonna have to invite you all. We'll make room. I'm sure of it. But it's amazing to think that this entire legacy of music in the O'Reilly family started with a record player, and my grandmother valuing something she could not comprehend. She saw the power of music on the faces of people around her, and she knew we must have it. But she never in her life heard a single note from that record player or from any of us, because Grandmama was born deaf. But she taught us the love of music and the power of valuing things we cannot comprehend. Thank you.